All right. So would love to know what you think. I mean, so you're not American. I'm American. I'm right outside Washington, D.C., actually, right now. We had this big election speech. Trump's is basically blaming it on election interference. A lot of Democrats clearly don't like that. Our country's divided. Right now, Iran is humiliating, embarrassing, and just laughing at Trump for that disaster, which is a disaster he also led on the Iranian people. The Iranian people thought they were going to actually get liberated. They didn't. Just a complete disaster. So now he's saying that China potentially, I guess, has rigged these elections. So how do you look at that? And also as a trader in the markets, how do you look at all of this?
Okay, first of all, I just want to answer it by asking, because this half of this answer comes back to oil. Do you have you ever wondered, like, because I know you follow the Iran war situation closely. Have you ever wondered with the Iran war, like before the war, there was about 120 ships going through every day. After the war started, for the last 3 or 4 months, there's probably like 6, 12 ships on a good day going through. So the volume's down 90 to 95%. Why hasn't oil price shot up to $150 per barrel, but it's crashed? It's crashed down to like 70 something right now. Have you ever wondered why that happened?
Why?
This was a surprise. Even though I thought I was the expert on China, this genuinely surprised me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see that chart. That is the number of barrels that China buys per day, which at its height was 12 million. That's 12 million barrels, these places. Recently, as that's 2026. Soon as the war started, they bought 6 million barrels a day. They took a hit for the rest of the world. You know how you know how in America you have the saying, you go, I took one for the team, right? So people are dumbfounded. They're like, this was the perfect moment for China to squeeze the United States. If China just keeps on buying what it always buys, which is 12 million barrels of oil, US, like oil price in US, in China, around the world, in Japan, in Europe, would be at $150, $180. China bought half as much as before. Half as much. When you've heard about this, like in Australia, there's panic because people can't get diesel. Airlines have to cut back because there's no jet fuel in places like Australia. And yet this country, right, the biggest oil buyer in the world, China basically decided, oh, we're going to help out the United States by cutting oil purchase down by half. For someone who's used to buying cheap Iranian and Russian oil, sanctioned Russian and Iranian oil at 20-30% discount, for a guy who likes doing that, why would China suddenly pay $110 for oil? So when oil went to $110, it decided, thank you, but no thank you. We'll just buy half as much. But can you see that number has rebounded? It's gone straight back up to like 9.5 million barrels now. Can you see that bounce?
Yeah.
Yeah. That bounce is happening now because oil is at like it was at $67 at its low, but now it's around $78. So whilst it's low, the Chinese demand comes back and says, okay, we'll buy cheap oil. So that's one explanation. But what I'm trying to say is that right now it's all about the oil. And I asked you before we started this live, like Trump talking about election tampering and election interference right before 4 months before a huge election, the midterm elections coming up in November. Don't you think that's suspicious? Don't you think that's funny? What's your read on that?
I think the fact is that he made a big mistake. I mean, I think he was overconfident that he was going to pull a victory. I think he thought he was going to push around the Iranians, maybe the way he just thought, like a small, like the narcissism was incapable of understanding how prepared that Iran was. And I think that we're losing. And I think that they can play 10-year game. You know, the CCP can play a century game. Russia can play a decade game. Iran can play a decade game. Trump can't play that. Trump, to Trump's credit, Trump does not have that luxury. He's dealing with Democrats. Next year, we got big elections here, man. Senate and House. Who knows what's coming? So he cannot plan ahead. It's not necessarily that Trump's bad. I mean, I support Trump. He's my president. I'm just saying that I'm American. I want him to have success. I'm just saying that he cannot look ahead the way the others can. And we're losing. And now they've made a laughing stock out of him in the world. And it's a shame because it's embarrassing. I'm American. I don't want to talk like this about my president. However, do I want to lie to my audience? Do I want to lie to myself? Do I want to lie to my business partner? No, I don't want to lie. I want to be honest. It was a mistake. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking this whole thing was a mistake.
I'm here. I'm not pro-left or pro-right-wing. I'm here to basically help folks make money with analyzing the market. And what I see, and sometimes in crucial moments like this, the geopolitics creeps into politics and creeps into the market. It's all about oil prices because there are other charts I can show you which demonstrates that the number one factor that affects inflation going up or down in the United States is basically oil prices. And we all know Trump wants to get a rate cut before the midterm election, not a rate hike, but a rate cut. Now, you've got the war situation right here. And Trump, I saw this interview. I don't know if you guys remember this interview. They asked him, I think it was Fox actually asked him, what's your perfect timeline for fighting this war? And Trump said something like, oh, if it was up to me, I will do it right after the midterms. And I'm like, oh my God, you don't think anyone's watching this? It's not like people don't know this already, but for you to admit that on camera, of course, after the midterms, you don't have to worry about how high the oil price is or how high the inflation price is because you don't have another major election until 2029, right? 2029. So nobody cares. Now, but here's the thing. The Iranians also know Trump wants to sign a fake MOU, a fake peace deal, which Trump can tear up anytime. Trump could just say, they bombed our ship, we're going to attack them back. He can just come up with any excuse and hit them back. So therefore, the Iranians, whilst they've got the leverage now, don't want to wait until after the election because then Trump has the leverage on Iran. Right now, before the election, Iranians have the leverage or the upper hand because they control oil prices to an extent. So the Iranians keep on fighting back, shooting at ships in the Hormuz Strait, whatever. Trump now, it looks to me, Trump might start some sort of military action even before the midterms. And then oil prices could spike. So coming back to the speech he made yesterday, why did Trump suddenly start talking about election interfering and election tampering right before a major election? It's because he knows there's a good chance, Republicans might lose. If he somehow still wins the election, both the House and the Senate, then he'll be like, the people of America have spoken, right? People of America have spoken. But if he loses, he's going to say, I told you so. For the last 3 months, I told you, election tampering. This is from China. This is election tampering. This is election interference. I think he's getting ready for that. And if he's getting ready for that, by prefacing the nation and the world that there could be election tampering going on in the next coming up election, then basically, then he doesn't have to wait till after November to hit Iran. He can hit Iran before the election.
I don't know if you're familiar with this or not, but we actually have about 60 senators, more than 60 senators, and they're supporting a bill that's threatening up to 100% tariff on India or any country that buys Russian oil. But this is the best part about it, is that America here, we will exempt our own uranium purchases from Russia and European allies for buying Russian natural gas.
Yeah.
What are you trading or not trading? How do you interpret that in the market?
Yeah. Okay. Very good question. When that happens, something similar happened about 2 months ago. And when that happened, I went long oil because it shows sheer desperation. they gave Iran and Russia like a 1 month or 2 month, what do they call, reprieve from sanction. So that when there has always been a sanction on Iranian oil, and there's been a sanction on Russian oil ever since the start of the Ukraine war. When that happens, basically, then Europe is starving for oil and starving for natural gas. So then that pushes up oil price and natural gas price. And you know that how bad it got at the gas pump in the US like 2 or 3 months ago. So when that happened, US was giving Trump and US was giving a reprieve on Russian oil sanctions and on Iranian oil sanctions. Therefore, it's saying you can buy oil from Russia and you can buy oil from Iran for the next 30 days or 60 days. That just shows pure desperation. They're afraid that oil prices might spike up. So even though we hate Iran, we hate Russia, we're going to allow them to sell their oil. Which, if you allow Iran and Russia to sell oil, you're basically just giving them more money. Here, take my money, throwing money at you, $20 billion for the next 2 months. Here, sell as much oil as you can. Here's 20 billion US dollars. Take it. And then buy more drones, build more factories, build more weapons, build more drones, buy more rockets, buy more missiles, right? You don't want to do that. But if US senators are doing that, it shows how desperate NATO and the Western world is with regards to the oil and natural gas situation. That's a very unusual signal. And that's why I told my Discord, I'm going long oil at this price. And we did pretty well. So far on the oil trades, we caught a lot of the bounces.
All right. So I want to just say, everybody, I hope you all have a good weekend. This is wrapping up another Pen and Friends podcast. Please like, share, subscribe. We have another one coming next week. I think this summer we're getting much more, I would say, locked in on doing these podcasts. All right, everybody, have a good weekend. Thank you, Pablo.
Okay, thank you for your time as well. Catch up.
Pablo shared that oil position with the community before this stream. If you want the analysis in real time, the link is in the description below. 12 months for the price of 10.